Welcome to this very spooky episode of No Dice. Just imagine I'm holding a flashlight underneath my chin while I say the rest of these things. We're very, very excited to be offering this episode early to our Patreon supporters. If you would like to hear super special episodes like this before everyone else, head on over to patreon.com/Pocket Podcast Network and become a supporter. We are very proud to be part of the Pocket Podcast Network, along with other great shows like Time Zones Are Hard, The 15th Precinct, Bad Dinner Party, and many, many more. If you like our show, please leave a review on iTunes. Tell your friends, tell all your neighborhood monsters, tell everyone. Shout out to everyone tweeting about the show using the No Dice Podcast hashtag. We love seeing your tweets about the show, and we definitely grab your names to use for NPCs. Don't forget that you can also support our show by purchasing a pocket note, a message to be read on the show. You can do this by going to pocketpodcastnetwork.com/pocketnotes. Thank you all for listening, and happy Halloween! Are you ready? Let's roll the dice. Okay, so welcome to this homebrew that I'm calling Clued with 2 D's for Clue and Dungeons and Dragons. I am trying to mash up the two. I don't know what I'm doing, so we're gonna see how this works. We are doing a super spooky No Dice episode. I would like to set the scene. First thing I'm gonna set the scene with is the year is 1971, so we are set a little bit in the past. You are at a dinner party at the Haunted Mansion on the Hill. This is hosted by Gloria von Stein. She's a ghost who's been haunting her manor since 1847. So this is an annual dinner party held on the anniversary of Gloria's death. She's always into this. It's always a big festivity, and it's a big deal for you to be able to be invited to this particular dinner party. So you're all sitting at the table. You are all eating your favorite meals, so why don't we go around and have you introduce the name of your character, the monster type of your character, and what meal you're eating. So why don't we start with, and I will put down a piece as soon as you say who you are and remember your color. So why don't we start with Daniel?
Man, why?
Because you're first on my hangouts.
Well, because Ben's awesome. My name is Vladimir Chedrick, but don't get it twisted. Go by Ben, because Vladimir's stuffy and old-fashioned. The Daywalker, it's half vampire, but it's to say you're half vampire, half human really blurs the lines a little bit. I think we're all people, I don't really think it's worth making those distinctions. But Daywalker is the normal term. Yep. What else am I supposed to say? Like, I'm awesome. I have a lot of money. I love Gloria. Love hanging out at her place. And I love this blood pudding she's got for me because it's fantastic and a civilized way to get my nutrients. What else did you want to know?
That was what I needed to know. Let's
fantastic. Radical.
To Hugh.
Okay, hold on. Can you skip me? Go on, I'm sorry.
Sure. Lou,
give me a second.
You are blue.
Good, I love that color. I'm also wearing blue, so it's perfect. I'm wearing my glow-in-the-dark Superman shirt. Alright. So, I play a Mr. Milton Malt Mothman, Esquire. My father came to this party, his father came to this party, and I'm sure any offspring that I have will also come to this party. I am a veteran from the Monster Wars. I was a paratrooper. I would fly in courageously and save people, risking my own life to save them, because I could see so well in the dark. And I am currently eating a nice bowl of nectar with a small light at the bottom of the bowl.
Perfect. Beautiful. Hugh, are you ready?
Milton sounds like an ass. Sorry.
Don't be rude to Milton. He is a good boy.
Good boy. Okay.
Good
All right.
boy.
Stop. Gotta get in character. Okay. Hello. My name is Georgie, and I have a third eye. It's right here on my forehead, but it's hiding behind my bangs. They're very large. This is my family has known the Von Steins for a very long while now, and we have been coming to this party for a long while as well. And I am eating lots and lots of marshmallows because they are, in fact, my favorite food. Strawberry ones, to be specific.
You are all enjoying this meal. It's very lovely. There's some light chatter. There's very nice silverware and candles in the room. It's a very nice atmosphere. When suddenly there's a crystal ball in the middle of the table you thought was just for decoration. When suddenly it begins to glow and shake, and a voice comes out of this ball, and what it says is,
"Among you lies one not of your kind. Do not be fooled by their disguise. They seek to destroy your way of life, causing you pain, causing you strife. This wizard has released a timed spell to turn you savage and against yourselves. Foil the device and wizard's evil game, or relations with society will never be the same."
the crystal ball is dimming, so do the candles, and in a fluster, everybody rushes out into the hall. And everybody is going to split up into different rooms. So right now I am about to legitimately draw a room and an NPC. I have not planned this out beforehand. So these NPCs are going to go into this randomly drawn room. So I just drew the ballroom, and in the ballroom is Professor Plum. I am drawing the study, and in the study is Mrs. Peacock. I think I've renamed some of these characters, so give me a second. I just added a couple different prefixes. Alright, so in the billiard room, I am drawing Dr. Green. In the hall, I am drawing Mr. White. In the kitchen, I am drawing Miss Scarlet. And in the library, last is Colonel Mustard. And then there are two rooms that no one went into, and that is the conservatory / I have turned it into a green room, and the lounge. So, this is where everybody is.
Please tell me that Miss Scarlet is like a vampire.
Miss Scarlet is definitely a vampire.
Fuck yeah! Fuck
Yeah, because vampires are the best.
Okay, I can give you what each monster each of these characters is, but that is only information I can give you before you have to actually ask the NPCs. So Miss Scarlet is a vampire. Professor Plum is a werewolf. Dr. Green is a Frankenstein creation monster. Colonel Mustard is a mummy. Mrs. Peacock is a swamp creature, and Mr. White is a zombie.
Yes! Yes!
So here is the deal. You cannot go back into the dining room. I promise there's nothing in the dining room. This is not like being a bad GM. I don't have anything happening in the dining room. Like, obviously the fact that everyone ran out is kind of a clue that it's not in the dining room. So you are all starting, at this singular square. And you have to roll a d20 and move around the board.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I need
Crap,
a
let me
D20.
find my D's.
Y'all. I know we play no dice, but y'all.
Before we do that, so I don't get confused, let's roll for movement order.
Okay.
Just so I have something. So we roll a d20, and whoever has the highest will go first, and etc.
I got a 4.
Okay, you're probably not first.
Probably not.
Georgie rolled a 19.
Oh, Georgie.
Georgie's a whole asshole. Because
Hey man, maybe it's not the best thing to move first in this occasion.
Hey, because Ben's historical sweep of bad rolls is still going on, and he rolled a critical fail.
Oh.
Your boy's sucking already.
It's your boy!
Okay, so Georgie goes first. You y'all do not have to move as a group. You can move independently, or you can move as a group. When you enter into a room, you can roll any of the following. You can roll a perception or an investigation on the room. And when you talk to an NPC, you can roll for intimidation, charisma, deception, or persuasion. With each of these, you can only do this once in the room. So you have the ability to go into a room and roll for something, but you cannot exit and re-enter and roll for it again. You get what you get. You don't suddenly gain super perception powers.
But what if?
And
so...
now, does that count for all of us? Like, if we go in as a team, only one of us can do wisdom, or...
No, if you go in as a team, everybody can roll for their each for themselves. So if you want to work as a team, you have 3 times the amount of rolling power.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in character already based off of Ben.
Ben's not working with anybody because, I mean, y'all are monsters, and
I feel...
Sorry, no offense, but...
I feel like Milton would at least know Georgie because of the fact that, like, it's been a family thing for so long.
Yeah.
I would probably be good friends with, like, your parents.
Yeah.
So if
Because
you guys
I'm
want to go in
small.
as a team, that is perfectly okay. So Hugh, Georgie, roll a d20 and then tell me which direction you want to go.
I got a 15.
Okay. You want to go up, or do you want to go down?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are you headed towards the kitchen, the ballroom, the lounge, or the hall?
Well, I do like books, so I'd like to go to the library.
The library is across, so do you want to go past the hall, or do you want to go past the ballroom?
I think I'd like to go past the hall, please.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You are in the library. So you enter into the library, and who do you see there but Colonel Mustard? Colonel Mustard is furiously looking around the library, hoping to find any idea of exactly where this device might be. So, do you want to roll for anything, Georgie?
I think I'd like to roll for perception.
Okay. So roll me a d20 and tell me what number you see.
Oh, that's a critical failure.
Ooh,
Nice.
ooh.
Luck's rubbing off on the pretty Triclops girl, damn right.
There's books in the library. You see them. They look nice.
Are they leather-bound books?
They're books.
I don't even know that.
Tears of sadness.
Do you want to roll for investigation? Do you want to poke around, or do you want to talk to Colonel Mustard?
I think I'd like to talk to Colonel Mustard.
Okay.
I think.
Go ahead. And what do you want to roll for with Colonel Mustard?
I think charisma, probably.
Okay. Why don't you roll for me, and I will tell you if you will go against Colonel Mustard's charisma.
Oh, that's a 9.
No.
Nope.
No.
So give me a little bit of flavor text of what happens when you go up to Colonel Mustard and you're like, hey.
Excuse me, sir.
What?
I was.
Yeah. What? Yes. What?
I was just wondering if you'd found anything yet.
There's books. There's lots of them. That's what I found. I don't know if it's in here, but if it is, it's definitely a book. It must look like a book. Okay, so that's what we're end of that turn for you. You've rolled for one against Colonel Mustard. What I'm gonna do is you can do one room check and one character check, and then it moves on to the next turn. And next time it comes around, if you want to continue talking to the NPC, you have 3 other options to do so. You can also check out the room. But if you tell me you're leaving the room, you can leave the room. So that is kind of how I'm going to operate with this. So that being said, Milton, roll me a d20 and tell me where you would like to go.
Well, I've just rolled a 16.
Okay, would you like to go to the lounge, the hall, the kitchen, or the ballroom, or would you like to go towards one of the other rooms?
I believe that if I were to plant some sort of device somewhere, I would either put it into the ballroom or the lounge.
Those are two separate directions, Milton.
I know, but I'm devising in my brain. Which
are you echolocating? Isn't that what your people do? Is echolocate where things are?
If you don't have anything smart to say, you shouldn't say anything at all.
That's pretty smart! Echolocation, right? That's brilliant!
I'm a moth, not a bat, you goddamn idiot.
Fuck!
Oh my god. That was so offensive.
Shut up, Georgie, you're not even in the room.
I didn't fight in the war for this.
Yo, man, we all fight our own personal wars every day, okay? I
quite literally fought in a war, and I've saved countless people.
I would have gone to the war, but, bone spurs.
Right then. So, he starts walking off in the direction of, the lounge.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can get you into the lounge.
Alright.
There is no one in the lounge, so you are able to do perception or investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no one in the lounge, I'll allow you to do both, if you would like.
Alright, first I will do perception, because that seems like it would be a logical order before going to investigate. I'd like to see what's in the area.
Okay.
Yeah. I rolled a 19.
Okay, yes. In this lounge, you
Mothman's
see...
eyes are...
It's very, very comfortable looking. There's a lot of comfy chairs and sofas. They are all covered in this floral pattern, and you look a little closer and you realize that they're roses and rose buds. So very delicate floral pattern. There's some lights on the walls. It's a little bit dim, nice mood lighting. And you can see that in the corner, there are some knights. They are just decorative. They're not doing anything. They're just kind of standing there.
Well, we thought the crystal ball was decorative, too.
Yeah, you did. You did. But you rolled what? What did you roll again?
19.
19. So the knights are decorative, for sure. So this lounge, it looks very comfy, looks definitely like a place you would like to spend some time in. You're a little disappointed that you haven't had a cocktail to be able to sit and relax in this lounge yet, but that is the extent of what you're seeing with your moth eyes.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yes. No, please.
Is there a city in which this takes place?
Transylvania, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I was just curious.
It's a haunted mansion on a hill. What more do you want from me?
Yeah.
Seems legit.
So, he's standing there, or I'm standing there, and I'm looking around the room, and I'm just like, if I had a goatee, I would stroke it. And he takes his antennas and he sort of like grooms them a little bit. And then he's just like, just to be sure, I'm going to investigate further. And so I'm going to roll my investigation.
All right.
And that's a 15.
Okay.
Not as good, but still pretty good.
So you're investigating around this lounge, and you notice that on a couple surfaces there's like a little bit of slime. It's not necessarily like gross. It just looks like it's not supposed to be there. It's a little tacky, not supposed to be there.
Is it ectoplasm?
No, it's just a little bit of like gross. Like you think that someone might have like stuck their hand on some nature and then wiped it off on the table, like
tree sap. Because I would know. That's what I eat.
Right. It seems just kind of general goo. Not necessarily like you could tell specifically what it is. It doesn't really smell like anything. It's just kind of gross. There's not a lot of it. It's just it's like a handprint, like a thumbprint. And then you look around a little bit more, and you see on the table there's a book out, and this book has the title Order of the Rose. It's not open. It's just kind of sitting out on the table.
Is there any bookmarks?
No, just sitting there on the table. You think maybe it was supposed to be like in the library and someone forgot to put it back, but they just finished with it, set it down on the end of the table. And that is what you can see with your investigation check. So it doesn't necessarily seem like there's a lot happening in this room, but there's definitely little bit of off details.
Okay, so I'm a stickler for details,
Yes.
and I assume that the hostess would hate it if one of her books was out of place.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick up the book, and whenever I can, I'm going to go over to the library.
Okay. So Ben, you want to roll me some d20?
I don't know if I do, actually. No, 17.
Okay.
Not at
Do
all.
you want to go to the kitchen, to the ballroom, to the lounge, to the hall, or do you want to try any of the rooms on the opposite side of the building?
Well, everybody else went down toward the hall, so I'm gonna go up toward the ballroom, but like around toward the library. I basically
Okay.
want to go where everybody else went, but in a roundabout way, so I don't look like I'm copying them.
Okay. So do you want to just be
Wow.
out in the hallways, or do you want to go into a room?
No, I just want to like go in the hallways, heading to the library.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You are literally outside the door to the library.
I'm coming. I'm getting there. Don't find it without me.
You know there was a much shorter way to get here, right?
Who asked you? I know you could probably see a better way with all the eyes you got going on, but some of us are just normal people, okay?
You're half vampire.
Hey, that's offensive.
And don't discriminate against my third eye. I don't use it very often. It's hiding behind my hair.
I know, your hair looks lovely tonight, by the way. Very attractive.
Are you hitting on... I'm only 19. How old are you again?
My bad. Definitely my bad. It's illegal in some states for me to even talk to you.
Oh my god, Ben! Ben! Alright,
She
Hugh.
wants to call him Benjamin so badly.
Hey, that's my name. Don't wear it out. Just don't call me Vladimir, because it'll gag me. My mom insisted on it. It's a family name, but it's honestly some bullshit, because, like, I'm obviously not a Dracula, you know?
That's okay. My full name's Georgiana, but it's very long, so
That
I
sucks.
just go
That
by
sucks
Georgie.
less than my thing.
I mean, I think the name Vlad is very great. Very strong.
Okay. Let's, who's, oh god, it is your turn. Fuck.
Georgie, would you like to stay in this room? And you have the ability to investigate, I believe, and you can also talk to Colonel Mustard some more. Would you like to do any of those things, or would you like to move to another room?
I think I'll investigate then.
Okay, so...
And hopefully get higher than a critical one.
Yes, roll me an investigation check, please.
Oh, that's a 6. That's great. That's jolly.
Alright, well, with a 6, you go over to the bookshelf, and you look at all of the titles that are kind of at your eye level. I want to say, like, there's some that are right in front of you and some that are above. They're, like, granted, this is a fairly big library. There's books all over the place, but you're looking where Colonel Mustard wasn't looking, and you just want to see what these book titles are. So, I'm going to read you off 6 of these book titles, because you rolled a 6. So, we have, alright, so we have Border of Stone, we have Signs of the Stars, we have Throne of the Gods, we have Vultures and Pirates, we have Signs of the Rose, and Knights of Tomorrow. Those are 6 of the books that you immediately see right in front of you.
Can I take one?
Sure.
Is that allowed? Oh, this is hard. I really do like books. I can't take all 6 of them, though. It would get very heavy.
It's also stealing. This is like someone's house, you know that, right?
I wouldn't just take them. I would return them when I was done. Not a thief. I'm very cute and I have a nice face too, so people like to trust me.
That
Damn right.
doesn't mean that it's not illegal.
I'm not taking it out of the house!
That's fair. Georgie, what book are you taking?
Roll a d6.
I think I'm gonna... Can I just roll a d6? I like Lou's idea. I'm gonna do that.
Sure.
Okay, I rolled a 2, so whatever the second one is, that one.
I did Border of Stone, Signs of the Stars. So you take Signs of the Stars.
Oh, this book looks nice.
Yep. You are more than welcome to take that book. Okay, so do you want to talk to Colonel Mustard before we move on to this next bit?
No, thank you. I think I'm
Okay.
all right.
All right. So next we have Milton. Milton, what you doing?
So, I'm about to go to the library,
Okay.
but then I realized there's a greenhouse.
There is a
And
greenhouse.
the book with the roses on it has reminded me of the greenhouse.
Okay.
So I am going to head over there.
All right. Roll me a d20.
Oof! Ooh! 20!
Ah!
20!
Milton, I'm just asking, like, you have to walk out the door and past Ben in the hall, so, like, what's that look like?
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. So you're pretty much right in front of Ben and Georgie.
So it's just like, my lady, Edward.
What's good, Batman?
Can't you turn into a bat? Don't you know what they look like?
That's racist. Okay?
It's not racist. You're half vampire.
Again, with the racism. Like, I'm not one to play the monster card, but you're really, like, you're frying my fish here, man.
You just made fun of my eyes. I think that's not fair.
They're right there in front of my face. And yours.
Ow. Ow!
Hey, it's not racist if it's true, okay?
That's hurtful, Ben. Not everybody can hide
Miss
what they
Georgie.
are from the world.
Miss Georgie, please pay no attention to Spike over here.
Ben, are you going into the library?
Yes.
All right. You
Yes.
have to roll above a 4.
That seems to be beyond my capabilities, but I've actually rolled a 9, so.
Okay. All right. So you have entered
Excuse me,
the
pardon
library.
me. I could. Oh boy, there's a mummy in here.
Oh, that's
Sorry, is that
that's
is that
true. That's true. I am a mummy, but you didn't have to say it out loud.
Sorry, wrapped person? Is that what we call it now?
I mean, do I just comment on how much you're a vampire every time you show up? No, I don't. And you're not really a great vampire so far. So,
I'm not a great vampire. I'm just a person. Okay, like.
So
calling
then
out the
I'm just a person. See,
Exactly,
we're
we're all
on the
just
same
people
page.
here.
Oh my god. Ben,
just-
can you please stop fighting?
Oh, we're not fighting. We're having a lovely, lively conversation, young lady.
The correct term is the willingly embalmed.
Thank you, but I don't really care.
Thank you. See?
All right, Ben,
Batman gets
are you rolling something in this room?
Yeah. Can I get a investigation check out the books that Georgie was looking at?
Yes, you can. Please roll a d20 for me.
17. Hey.
All right.
The boys
I can
got
see
me
better
down.
than the three-eyed girl.
So you go
Maybe
over
you're
to these
just
books.
taller than me. You don't
She
know.
needs to, like,
That's
pull
true.
her bangs up.
All right, so you go over to these books, and you're looking around, and you see Border of Stone. You see a couple new titles. You see Monks and Orcs. You see Sounds in My Home. You see Raven Without a Goal. You see Wolf of Misfortune. Those are the ones that Georgie didn't see. And then you see that there's 2 books that look a little bit more loved than the other books, and that is Knights of Tomorrow and Signs of the Rose. They're just a little more worn than the other ones. And then you look down and you notice there's a lot of like dirt near the bottom of this bookcase. So you just see this like line of dirt. And that's and then you notice like the room is a little more dimly lit than you expect a library to be. You want to be able to like read in the library. And then just the fact that there are so many books, but these ones specifically have caught your interest, have caught Georgie's interest, and you see the 2 books that are a little more loved than the others.
I do actually have quite bad eyesight too, so that's
So
not very helpful
the pyramid glasses, you're killing it with the pyramid glasses. Willingly embalmed person, did you get a look at these weird books?
Are you rolling for something here?
No, I'm just yelling at him to see if he's seen the books. Like, have you looked at these? Are these a thing? Should I?
They're books. I think one of them is suspicious, but I can't tell which one.
I agree. I'm gonna. Hey, Milton, should I touch this?
No, you shouldn't touch anything.
Cool. I'll take signs of the roses.
I need you to roll me a d20.
I can do that. 9.
The book seems a little sticky, and it doesn't fully come out of the bookshelf, so you just put it back.
Somebody's been having a great time in here, and I don't want to touch none of that. So, yeah. Thanks for the heads up about the sticky shit, though.
You should wash your hands.
Come here. You're like a 6-foot-tall ShamWow. Come here. All right. So yeah. That's what Ben's got. He's good. Go ahead.
Are you you're not talking to Colonel Mustard?
No. I have yelled at him, and that is sufficient.
Okay. All right. Back to Georgie, please.
Oh, it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Well, I suppose since Ben has insulted the dear Colonel,
Yes.
that I can leave the room.
I insult everybody. You're not special. I mean, he's not special. I mean, no one's special but me.
Well,
all right. So can you roll a d20 and tell me where you're going, Georgie?
my dear Georgie, can I say something before she walks out?
Yes,
Because I
please.
see that she's walking towards the door. I'm on my way towards the conservatory. Would you like to join me? You're not invited.
I was
Little
going there
one.
anyway, and I'll just meet y'all there. Like, it was my idea first, but you stole it.
It was my
I'm
idea
sure it was.
I'm older than
As
you.
you seem to be so good at original thought.
Yeah, man. Like, I picked up a book. What did you do, Jack and shit?
Holds up my book.
That book was there when we got here.
I don't think so, actually. Sorry.
Nobody asked you, Georgiana.
You know, I could just lock you in here.
No!
It's true.
I like crypts. This will be fine. There's even stuff to read in this one.
That might actually be a better idea, considering that would be 2 less problems if people were to go savage later on.
I would never go savage. Like, I'm not even really, like, a monster,
Locking
you know?
the door.
No!
Can
I
I?
like how Milton says it even though he's nowhere near the door right now. It's like, we're gonna lock the door now. Okay, I would love to go to the greenhouse with you, Milton. I did roll a 3 though. That's not very good.
Well, now you're right next to Milton, so you guys have
So, if
lovely
we're
chat.
deciding to team up,
Mhm.
Is there a different mechanic for getting places?
I will have I'll have you guys both roll d20, and I'll
Do
let
the
you guys
average?
go with the highest.
Okay.
Ah.
Alright,
so...
Milton, I do think though that 3 heads, although one of them is a little off, would be better than 2.
Are y'all
yes,
talking
we could
about
take...
me?
No, not at all, Ben.
So we're going to bring the willingly embalmed fellow. I see.
You do have the capability of potentially bringing an NPC with you. However, I will warn you, it's very difficult.
Okay.
You have to roll a 20 to get them to leave the room.
Oh, really?
And come with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Georgia, you're so good at rolling. You try.
If it doesn't work, we'll bring the squirt.
And I do want to let you guys know, I wrote this, and I would like this to happen, but so far, like, you've just talked to Colonel Mustard, you really haven't asked him to do anything.
Yeah.
As an example, you haven't asked him about his history, you haven't asked anything, which is fine. I don't think that's important for what you guys just did. But I did write it so that if you want to bring NPCs to help, not necessarily come with you, because for them to leave the room is, you gotta roll a nat 20. But if you want to get extra help, you can roll for specific any of the 4 that I said, if with your flavor text, and you can get plus 1d4 if you beat their wisdom or charisma or intelligence.
Okay.
So that is also a potential for you guys to do, is to go in and ask for help from an NPC.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if that's going to be helpful because you guys are doing such a bang up job already. But just like for Ben, maybe if you want to like try to like get someone to be on your side, you can roll for any of the things and then potentially get a plus D4.
Yeah.
Okay, so Milton and Georgie, you guys are going towards the conservatory / green room. Do you guys both want to roll me a D20 and I will move you guys towards the conservatory?
Sure. I'll roll.
I got
Ooh, 19.
I got an 11, so...
Okay, so we're gonna go with 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19.
Eight.
I'll hold down the fort out here. I'm coming, but like, I'll catch up. Don't worry.
Alright, so just as you don't have to roll for anything, you walk into this green room, it smells like plant life, and you see all this buzzing, wonderful plants. It's not actually a conservatory. I didn't want to have any animals in this particular room, so it's just plant life. The question of how this plant life is maintained is not going to be answered at all, ever. So it's just a mystery. You just walk in, you're like, wow, this is really well kept for a ghost, and then that's pretty much what your immediate thought when you walk in the room. So, Georgie and Milton, since you guys are a team, I will let Milton go first, and then Georgie can go.
Yep.
What do you want to roll for this greenhouse?
I'm specifically going to be looking for if I can see any more of that slime.
Okay.
And specifically if there's any roses in this garden.
Okay, so are you rolling for perception then?
I think that's more of an investigation thing, because I kind of like know what I'm looking for.
Okay.
But I want to like investigate. So that's a 12.
Okay.
So he's like, so I was carefully walking with my arms behind my back, and just kind of like lean to look at things.
You do walk in, you do notice that most of the flowers are roses, or at least the most blooming ones are beautiful, and they're gorgeous. They smell great. You lean over, they smell beautiful.
We
you
took
do
the
not
time
see
to smell the roses.
You did. You take some time to smell the roses. With a 12, you look over and you notice that there is a type of flower. Let me see if I can pronounce this one right. I just want to give you the scientific name first, and then I will give you the common name. So the scientific name is Alternartha dentea. I think I did that wrong, but that's okay. Basically, there's a little label. That's what the scientific name says under it. Because you rolled a 12, I'm actually not going to give you the common name. So, Georgie, if you want to roll with your book smarts. Sure. And tell me if you know the common name of this flower.
Do I get any, like, moth knowledge? Because moths eat flowers.
You rolled a 12. That's what I got.
I know.
The common name is Tasty.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, I will give you the common name. The common name for these flowers are called purple nights.
Oh, I thought you were going to say roses, and then I was going to laugh.
No, they're called purple nights, and if you actually look them up, they're a real flower. I did not make them up. And they're very pretty. And so there are some purple. There's some pink. There's some white. All these flowers in here are very much a light pastel palette. So it just gives a nice visual and sensory introduction to this greenhouse.
The book that I picked up, is it a book on flowers?
Why don't I have you roll for that? Okay. I'm gonna have you roll me a d20, and I'm gonna go against your intelligence.
Okay.
Which is a 13.
Alright, so I got a 14.
Okay, so you open up this book, and on the first page it says Order of the Rose, and then you go to the next page, and there's a foreword, and this foreword says things along the lines of a brief history of the Knights and the Order of the Rose, an exploration into a small group of peacekeepers. That's the word I'm looking for. So it is not a book on roses. It is a book on those who call themselves the Order of the Rose.
But it is uncanny that we've got flowers called knights and then roses right next to each other, don't you think? My dear Georgie. It's a little bit humorous, perhaps. There's lots of head waggles going on right now. And, like, his antennae are just, like...
Wiggling around, like, yeah, I figured something out. Look at me go.
It's like when someone waggles their eyebrows, except for its antenna, so...
Oh, yeah.
Georgie, do you want to roll for anything in this room?
Um...
There's no one in this room, by the way. I to the listeners, there are no NPCs in this room.
Wait, did I already roll investigation, or no?
That's what Milton just rolled,
Okay.
and obviously you know all of that. So if you want to roll perception, you are more than welcome to. Additionally, on the next turn, if you fail the perception check, Milton can make a perception check as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, this is hard. I think I'll just wait, and... Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you're not
No,
doing
I'm
anything
good.
in this room.
I'm good. I'm just
Okay.
going to stay here.
All right, Ben. What you doing?
Can I take an action in a room and then leave the room?
If it's a like free action, if you don't roll for anything, yeah.
No. Okay.
So if you like turn off the lights or something like that, but
I
like,
turn off the lights and laugh at Colonel Mustard. I know, I do not do that.
okay. So would you like to
man.
leave the room?
Yeah.
Okay, so roll me a d20 and tell me where you're going.
I feel like I need to speak to this NPC, but at the same time, I know Ben does not want to be left out, so he's like, "Wait, come on, guys." Well, Ben rolled a big 9, continuing his trend of doing real great.
Are you going towards the green room?
Yeah, but he ain't gonna make it that far. So
Do you want to go into the billiard room then?
I don't
Go
think
into
he
the
can-
Mr. Green room.
Yeah. Well, okay, thank you.
That was funny.
I think if I count it correctly, he'll just make it to the door. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, you can go in the billiard
okay,
room.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
So Ben goes out there and he's following them, and he's like, wait a minute, fuck this, I make my own rules, and sharp right turns into the billiard room.
So you enter into the billiard room and you see Dr. Green. Of course, you're not going to know this till you introduce yourselves, but Dr. Green is a Frankenstein creature, and he is also, Dr. Green, they are looking around this room and are just they're looking underneath the pool tables, they're looking at the pool cues, they're very frantically looking around this room to try and see if they can figure out where this device is. Specifically, just as a little bit of flavor, Frankensteins are not considered one of the higher forms of monsters in this world, so I believe there's a lot of personal urgency happening with Dr. Green. So just so you know, that is the scene. That is what is going on. So do you want to talk to Dr. Green? Do you want to look around the billiard room?
In I guess intimidation. I would like to roll for intimidation.
Okay.
Because
Let
Ben
me
is mean, apparently.
Okay, so against Dr. Green, I need you to roll a d20.
Jesus, Ben. That's a crit fail. So Ben decides he's gonna take matters into his own hands, and he marches into the room and he stabs a finger at Dr. Green. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Fuck!
Excuse me, young sir. Can I help you? Excuse me, I need to look under this table real quick. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Where the fuck is the thing?
You think I know?
The thing, man. The thing.
I'm looking for it myself.
Right. So.
Do you want to join me?
No.
All right. As you were.
As you were.
What
Man.
an idiot.
Right. All right. Are you rolling for anything to look for anything in the billiard room?
Yeah, might as well. Can't do anything else. Perception's the general one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perception then.
Okay.
Come on, Ben.
what-
Stop being stupid.
What you got?
Hey, big 3. I as much as I hate this a lot, I enjoy the fact that Ben is sucking because he thinks he's such hot shit and he's not.
All right,
Sometimes
Ben. So
the dice know what's best for the story.
Right.
all right, Ben. So you look around this room, and aside from noticing that there are billiards and billiard balls and pool tables, cue sticks, and Dr. Green frantically looking around this room, it looks a little dusty.
So like
That's it.
So like Ben is like after this fantastic attempt at intimidating the person that is in this room, Ben decides that he's like, well, I'm gonna look for this shit too, but he ends up like being one step behind Dr. Green. So like Dr. Green will look under something, and then 2 minutes later, Ben will look under the thing also. Like, he doesn't realize he's doing it, but he's like, this looks good. Oh yeah, I'm smart. It's the stupid train. All aboard the stupid train.
Choo choo.
Yeah. So we're having a good time in the billiard room. Someone please do something smart in this game.
All right, we are back to Milton and Georgie. Georgie, do you want to roll for anything? Or do you want to roll perception since Milton rolled for investigation the last time around?
Yeah.
What do you think, Lou?
Can't hurt too.
Okay. That's what I thought too. I was like, whatever.
I mean, time is against us, but...
That is the one thing that has happened. There is it ticking in your heads.
I rolled a 15.
All right. So, you notice, like, again, you guys are both like, wow, these plants are so well kept. They're, your host is a ghost, so you do realize that it's probably not Gloria that's taking care of these plants. And you notice that there's
the
ghost host. You notice that there's dirt everywhere. Of course, it is a greenhouse, so there's a lot of dirt. But then you look down and you notice that there's dirt by your feet that's the wrong color. It's not the same moist, damp soil that all of these plants are in. It's a little bit dustier, a little bit sandier in color. Not full sand color, but just a little lighter. And that's the biggest thing that you just look and immediately your eye is drawn to. There's dirt, not quite the way it's supposed to be.
Milton, do you see this?
Does it look like the same dirt that was in the library?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Milton
I don't know if I wanted you to roll for that or not, but I'm just gonna tell you.
Milton didn't go in the library, and I didn't see it.
I have moth eyes.
Oh yeah, you do have moth
Yeah.
eyes. I'm sorry.
I was staring down the small vampire child in spirit. And I probably looked at his feet and I was like, oh, it's dirt. Because apparently I care about neatness in other people's houses. Is there anything else in this room of note other than that? All right.
It's just a very nice greenhouse.
All right, so I'll take like a mental note of that.
Okay.
My dear Georgie, should we abscond to the next room, perhaps to investigate further or ask some questions of some of our fellow guests?
I believe so, but I don't really think we should leave Ben by himself. I think he could get into a bit of trouble.
He might actually hurt himself, yes.
Yes, or
I don't know why I'm becoming more British.
accent.
It's just naturally out.
Or
I started as just like regular pompous asshole, and like it slowly devolved into like a British supervillain.
I wouldn't want him to accidentally burn down the house either. Actually,
Yes, that would be
not
troublesome.
As you're standing in the conservatory having this conversation, Ben whacks his head on the underside of the pool table and kind of goes,
Oh,
"Ow,
bless
fuck!"
his heart. Yep.
From the other room.
Alrighty.
We should probably go make sure he's okay.
We should perhaps gather him on our way to the ballroom.
Oh yes.
All right. So because you guys are a team, you do have the ability to still move.
Okay.
Because Milton hasn't moved in terms of taking up a turn.
Yeah.
So would you like to move to the ballroom, or do you want to go back to the billiard room to try to get Ben?
Can we go to, like, the door of the billiard room? And because it's so close to the entrance to the ballroom, I figure, like, if we just go over there...
Alright, if you roll a... And this is not the exact squares. I made a mistake with a d20 on these squares. I probably should have done, like, a d12, but that's okay. If you roll a 13 or higher, I will let you do that.
Okay.
Between the two of you, so you both can roll for this.
10.
Oh, that's a 4.
Alright, so you guys
We
get
get
to
lost
pick.
in conversation, obviously.
That's okay. You get to pick. You either go into the ballroom or you can go into the billiard room.
I think we can just yell at Ben from the hallway. And be like, come with us.
Alright, so y'all are in the ballroom now. So you guys have yelled to Ben down the hall, and Ben's like, what? What do you want?
Please come with us before you hurt yourself further.
I got it. It's fine. I'm gonna find the shit. Y'all do whatever you want. I got this. Don't worry.
Obviously too much of an idiot to be the wizard.
Alright, so you guys have entered into the ballroom, and in the ballroom we have Professor Plum, who is a werewolf, who also uses the pronouns they. My favorite thing so far has been, for Dr. Green and Professor Plum, it's like, what are you? I'm a professor. I'm a doctor. Like, you know, not even their monster types, just their professions. It's true. But in the ballroom, so, Milton, because you haven't... I'm going to go with this specific role. So because Georgie rolled and did a perception check or investigation in the conservatory, in the green room, I'm going to have you have the ability to talk to Professor Plum and investigate or perceive the ballroom. So tell me what you want to do.
Well, I'm going to address the wolf in the room.
Okay.
And be like, hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
Good evening, Professor! Good evening.
Hello.
Well met. How are you faring this evening? Have you figured anything out yet?
Oh, I'd have to tell you, I'm a little more sweaty than usual.
I see.
I'm just not sure what's gonna happen. I've been a professor for some time, and I don't want to lose my job.
You don't want to lose your job. I see. Well, Professor, you're a learned man. What is your opinion on where this dastardly being could be hiding?
Alright, so are you going to roll for charisma then?
Charisma, yeah.
Alright,
that seems appropriate.
Yeah, roll me a charisma. What I am going to do is... the professor has a very high charisma.
Oh.
But what I'm going to do is... Because your charismas are the same, roll me a d12, and if you get 10 to 12, I will let you.
Okay.
I will let you charm.
Fingers crossed. That's a 4.
So no dice for that one.
No dice. Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't said that before this. Alright, so what does that look like when you so you ask this question, you need to follow it up with another statement, and then the professor will answer.
Okay, so he goes maybe like a little bit overzealous with the question. Yeah. And he's just like, yes, because we're worried about running into someone who so dastardly might have accidentally put this curse upon all of us. And curses are a sort of subject.
A curse! And the professor starts, like, patting himself even more, and, like, a little bit of fur pops out of his shoulders.
You're not going to...
it's not a full moon, but, I'm getting... Whoo, boy! Oh, I need to sit down. And the professor
Please do take a sit.
Just sits on the floor. Doesn't even find a chair, just sits down.
Does he do like that thing that dogs do occasionally, where like they scoot their butt in the carpet?
a little bit.
Please.
Like not enough that you fully are like, yeah, that's definitely a dog, but enough that you're like,
Please do take a sit, good sir.
Professor,
like a little
calm yourself down, Professor.
Why
so
are you going British all of a sudden? You're like,
I don't know. It's just like
your
supervillain
fault.
territory.
I'm rubbing off
So
on
you
you.
have-
It's hilarious.
You have failed. You have failed this charisma check.
Yeah.
So what? Are you going to investigate or perceive the room, or are you going to let it go to another turn?
Well, he sat down, so I'm just gonna do like a quick perception check around the room,
Okay.
so I avoid eye contact with this wolf who just had like a toddler pout.
No, he had a bit of like a moment, like a high
Yeah.
anxiety moment. It's not a toddler pout. It's this poor
Like,
professor. Like,
I understand that. I'm a veteran. However, compose your shit.
get yourself together.
Get
All right.
yourself together, man. You call yourself a monster.
Get your life, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
roll me a d20, please.
That's a good 15.
All right. So you realize that on the stage in this ballroom, there are several of the knights that they don't necessarily look as decorative as the others. They look a little more functional, but they don't
Yeah.
look like they have anyone in them. And these knights are doing a Star Wars Cantina band, where they're just playing. They're just playing this music, and if you stay long enough, you will realize it is on a loop. And the song is by. You rolled a 15. All right,
Is it
it's
Kiss
a
from
song.
a Rose by Seal?
No, no. It's Paper Roses by Anita Bryant. So it's a song that's fairly, I think 60s is what I found that is what it is. So it's a topical song. It's not like a super snooty song. But that is what is happening, and that's what you hear and that's what you see in this ballroom.
Is there any like details on these knights that might suggest that they are the same knights talked about in my book?
They look. I don't know. This is a really hard way for me to describe this. Have you ever seen the decorative knight that my family owns?
Probably, but I don't remember it.
It's
I've
about
been to your
4
house.
feet tall. It's about 4 feet tall. Yeah, you have been to my house. So the decorative knight is about 4 feet tall. And it's not made out of like the strongest metal. It's definitely just been like bent and like hammered a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like a full suit of armor. And so that's kind of what this is. Like, if you really needed to, you could put this armor on and it would kind of protect you, but it doesn't look like it was armor made for monsters or humans. It looks like decorative armor that is alive.
But is it like representative of?
It's very simple. It's very
Okay,
much
okay.
like a sculpture piece.
Okay. Is there anything else in the room besides the Cantina band?
It's a lovely, lovely ballroom. It is very big and beautiful, but it was only set up for. There was one of these rooms. I think it was the ballroom. I believe the ballroom it's set up for cocktails after dinner, but you haven't
Okay.
had the chance to get
Yeah.
to the cocktails because your dinner was interrupted. So there's like some high
Are there
tops.
any out that I can like?
There's no drinks, but there's high tops set out.
Damn.
and so there's a lovely little band, and it's basically like a minglable party area, but nobody's in there.
Okay.
All right, so we are gonna move on to Ben. Ben, what are you doing, man?
Who knows? Let's find out. Roll this.
All right, so are you talking to Dr. Green anymore?
No, I think.
Are you going to look at anything else in the billiard room?
No, I think Ben's gonna check out of the billiard room.
Okay.
Having thoroughly embarrassed himself like a dumbass, I think he's gonna try to go to the ballroom with the others because they yelled at him.
Okay. If you roll me a D10, and so you got to roll 5 or above.
Okay, Ben's dumbass rolled a 5.
I will allow that. You are gonna just be right at the entrance of the ballroom. You're not like fully in, but if you want to do any kind of perception or investigation, you can.
Let me do some perception since I'm not in enough to do investigation.
Okay.
Is that a D20?
Yes, please.
All right. Man, Ben.
The hell did he? 6?
All right, so you definitely see these knights in this room playing this Cantina band, Paper Roses song, but you don't know what the song is because you are not hip
So
with this
2000
song.
and late.
And you're like, hey, cool, the Knights are playing music. Wish I could play music.
How do you know I can't play music? Damn. So
that's what's happening. You just like are like, oh, cool.
So like Ben like makes it to the door and kind of leans in the door like, what are you nerds doing in here? Billiard room's cool. I already cleared that one. Don't worry. Band's cool. That's neat. Why is that dude on the ground?
And the professor's just fanning himself now.
Is that the wizard?
Me,
Did you catch the wizard?
No.
Is that the wizard?
No, that's Professor Plum. He's actually quite nice.
Okay.
He's a bit frazzled at the moment, if you will.
He looks kind of rough, if you know what I mean.
All right, so you are a group now. I'm still gonna go in order now since you guys are all in a group. So, but as a collective, you need to decide if you are staying, or at least start. Let's start with Hugh. Hugh, would you like to stay in this room and do more investigation in the ballroom? Talk to Professor Plum anymore?
I would like to, but he does seem to be a little frazzled at the moment.
Feel free to do a roll of his current state of anxiety will not affect necessarily the answers he's going to give. Or excuse me, they. I don't know why I keep saying he. So, would you like to roll for? You can roll for any of the following of intimidation, charisma, deception, or persuasion because you were not the one that asked. Milton did try to charm the professor and was not so good at that.
Do you all think that I should see if he's okay?
Do it.
Perhaps.
You think? Okay. I think I'll roll for. He has a very high charisma score there, doesn't he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. However, your charisma. So what I will let you do. I'm literally just making all of this shit up.
That's how GMing works. Welcome to the club.
What I'm gonna do is the difference between your two charisma scores is 3. So what I will have you do is roll a d6, and if you get above 3, you can charm the professor. If you get below 3, not so good.
What if I got exactly 3?
You're gonna do okay.
Okay, well, I did roll exactly 3, so...
Okay, so the professor will answer you, but the whole time is gonna start stinking a little bit and be sweaty, and the fur is gonna grow up their neck a little bit, so it's gonna be a little bit not pleasant.
Well, that's all right. I don't have 3 nostrils. I only have 3 eyes, so I should be fine.
All right, so go ahead.
Professor, are you okay?
Well, I just need a break. Just need a moment. I really this device is something that I've heard about, talked about at the university, but I never thought that it was a real thing, and I just wanted to come and congratulate Gloria, and I haven't even seen her around. Oh man. So the professor starts to fan themselves and pat a little bit. So you can ask one more question, and then we'll move on to the next person.
Milton, what do you think I should ask him?
Ask him who he saw talking about the device.
Oh.
I would say that is a rabbit trail worth trailing down after.
That's what I was gonna say, but Milton beat me to it.
Professor, who did you see talking about the device?
Oh, the device has just been talked about. It's a rumor going around. I didn't think it was actually a real thing. I would have paid more attention, but you know how at the university, when you're taking a quick break or you're writing tests and someone comes into your office and starts talking about magic and spells and you usually just nod along. That's usually my go-to.
Okay, I have this headcanon at this point that, does Dr. Green teach too?
No.
Okay.
Dr. Green is not a university doctor.
Okay.
But I don't want to give you too much information because you guys need to talk to
I'm
these
sorry.
NPCs.
But, like,
Please.
I am, like, at this point, 90% sure that whatever college Professor Plum teaches at, that's probably the school that Georgie goes to.
Good. I love it.
Okay,
All right,
I'm done. My turn.
Milton,
Yes.
would you like to talk to the professor anymore? Would you like to look at the ballroom anymore? Would you like to move to another room?
I would like to perhaps talk to some of the other constituents
Okay.
at this party. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where would you like to go? And roll me a d20.
We're decently close to the kitchen where Miss Scarlet has absconded to.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
So, let us go talk to the lovely Miss Scarlet.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna fix my mistake. And no more d20s on this board because you just get into the rooms.
I just want to say there is a door on the other side ballroom.
It's true.
Only visually. Realistically,
Oh.
there is one entrance.
Okay.
There's maybe some emergency exits to the outside, but you don't see them. So there's only one door.
Too high
And if
class
you want to
for
come
that.
through this door, you gotta say the magic word.
Roll me a d12, please.
A D12. Okay.
Wait, do I roll one too?
All three of you can roll, and the
Okay.
highest one we can get through, we can move.
I got an 8.
Got a 10 there, Hugh.
Big 6 over here for Ben.
All right, so we're gonna do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So y'all are pretty close to the threshold of the kitchen, which, because you guys are a group, I realize this is kind of pointless. So y'all are gonna like stand outside of the kitchen, and for a moment, you're not sure if you want to go in because y'all are high class monsters.
Yes.
You don't tend to go into the kitchens of your host's house because that's not necessarily a place that you're going to spend time, especially at the host.
Nah.
You might go into your own kitchen in your own mansion, but
Yes.
not necessarily in someone else's house.
I don't.
So you pause for a minute, and then
But in
I'm
the
going
same
to...
vein, wouldn't the person who planted this device think the same thing?
Potentially. So I'm going to have you go in and talk to Miss Scarlet, who,
All right.
as we've mentioned before, is a vampire.
Good evening, Miss Scarlet.
Maybe we should
Hello,
have Ben
hello.
talk to her.
Oh my god,
What's
she sounds like my
up?
old drama teacher.
Vampire.
All right. Hello, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm great, yo. I am so glad we finally made it to your room. What the hell are you doing in the kitchen? This is nasty.
Oh, this is not my room. I don't live here, but I just thought maybe someone who wasn't necessarily a high class person would end up being this terrible person who wanted to set this device. So I thought, where would someone who's not high class go? And I thought, of course, the kitchen.
See, that's why we need a vampire on the team. That's why you guys have me, because we're smart. See, me and Miss Scarlet, we're like simpatico, man.
Squint of suspicion.
How do you squint with those big ass eyes? Like, do you have eyelids?
All right, so Milton, you were the one that moved from the ballroom. So you are first to investigate, perceive, or talk to Miss Scarlet.
So I'm gonna try to charm her.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. So, all right. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to have you roll. Miss Scarlet's charisma is very low. And in fact, it is nothing. So,
This trend
she's
of
very...
low-rolling vampires is you know.
Can I roll
That's
just
the
for the
only
sake
thing-
of, like, if I get a critical pass or hit?
Sure.
Just for that.
Roll and just tell me if you fail, it's going to be really embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. I did not fail, nor did I get a critical. I got a 17.
Okay.
But,
So, what would you like to charm Miss Scarlet with?
alright, so your dress is looking lovely tonight, darling.
Oh, thank you. I did design it myself.
Yes,
of course.
Oh yes, I forgot. How's your clothing line coming?
Oh, it's going wonderfully. I've got so many new clients. A lot of them are thanks to Gloria. I'm so glad that I was here tonight.
Oh yes,
Have you seen her around?
I haven't. In fact, I've been looking for her. Your clientele.
Yes.
Are they mostly monsters or human?
You know, I don't necessarily like to make any judgments, but
Okay.
I've found that monsters are so much more challenging to design for, and I do love a challenge. So I love to put the monsters just a little higher on my list, of course, but only the high-class monsters. I don't want to be designing for just any old monster, of course.
Yes, I see. So it would negatively impact your business.
Of
were
course.
this device
of
to go.
Course.
Oh, it's terrible. It's a terrible thing.
I
for
can't
us
believe
to have to
someone
do
would
with.
even do this.
I know. But it's good to know that it's not necessarily good, but it's reassuring to know that it'd be negative for you should this go off.
Of course. And of
my-
course, it's no fun to design clothing for monsters who just are going to rip it off their bodies.
Ah, yes. They wouldn't even wear clothes.
Of course.
Naked monsters everywhere.
Of course. It is just a disaster.
It's absolutely appalling. Yes.
Hey, I wouldn't mind some
thank
naked
you very
monsters in
much.
here if you know what I mean.
Don't get the monster D.
All right, so unless you have any other, I will allow you one more question if you'd like to ask one more question of Miss Scarlet.
I'm going to, since I got, in my head, I got enough information, so I'm just gonna ask
Okay.
a personal question.
Sure.
Well, dear, how much would you commission a waistcoat for a Mothman such as myself for?
Oh, waistcoat. Well, it's going to depend on the fabric, of course, and
Not
how
only the
soon you
best.
need it, and what event it's for. Because, of course, as soon as I put my
yes.
name on it, I want to know what the event is, because I want to be able to present my work. So why don't we'll sit down and have a little talk, and my
After we
assistant
figure
will
this
be-
out. After
of
we...
course,
Yes.
I definitely want to be able to design for you, and you're not running around like a mad moth.
A mad
I flutter.
I would like to say, insects do not, in fact, have eyelids.
Thank you for this bit of information that I don't understand why you're telling me this in character.
So, Ben, you are. Well, excuse me. Let me go back to Milton. Milton,
Yes.
do you want to look around this room?
Of course, because...
Okay. So, what would you like to look for?
I'm gonna investigate, find if any more slime, or dirt,
Okay.
or dirt slime, or roses, or knights.
First time.
All right. So, roll me a d20.
Okay, that's a 16.
All right. So you look around the room, and the first thing you think of course, you've not been in a kitchen very often, but the first thing you think of is, wow, this kitchen is very clean. Again, the same thought of who maintains this, and it's not necessarily a thought that you entertain for very long. Just kind of like a
She
I wonder
probably
how-
has her people.
Yeah, I wonder how a ghost upkeeps her house. And then you do notice that there is a little bit of dirt. Not necessarily a line like there was in the library or in the conservatory. Just enough that it looks like it might have dusted off of someone as they brushed against the table or anything like that. And then you do notice that there is a walk-in freezer, and you're going to go over the walk-in freezer, you're going to open it, and on one of the racks you are going to see dessert that y'all didn't get to because you were interrupted in the middle of dinner. And dessert is there are several real roses that are made out of chilled blood, and those are obviously for the vampires, and then there are some supplemental roses that are not made out of blood, they're just made out of a pink pudding, just for the rest of the guests that don't necessarily consume blood.
Dibs on the blood
but
roses.
it's a very delicate frozen dessert that I think everyone's a little disappointed that dinner was interrupted and they didn't quite get to this dessert.
Oh, my dear hostess has outdone herself this year. No, I'm not. You have to use your big boy words if you want something.
I'm gonna need you to stop bogarting the blood roses, because those are all mine. Just...
Right.
Unless the lovely Miss Scarlet would want to share one.
Well, I just feel so bad that Gloria's in here and our dinner was interrupted. I would much rather wait till this whole thing is blown over and then we can just have a nice dessert. Maybe some cocktails. So, in the kitchen, Ben, so now that Milton has done the thing, Ben, what would you like to do?
What haven't we done in this room yet?
You have not perceived anything, and you have, you can talk to Miss Scarlet some more.
I'm gonna try perception.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me.
19! Hey! The presence of another vampire makes Ben real smart.
So, you're gonna just look around this room. The first thing you obviously noticed this when you walked in is it smells amazing. Everyone's favorite dish was made in here. Even the blood dishes were made in here. So there's a little bit of a coppery scent, which for you is just intoxicating.
I'm sensing hints of type A, type B, type O, type whatever the hell you are, Milton. It's glorious in here.
Moths don't even have blood.
The other thing you notice, you would have noticed this when you walked into the room, is that the walk-in freezer was ajar, but because Milton went over and opened the walk-in freezer and then investigated, obviously that's not something you're seeing at this moment. But additionally, you would notice that there are, as in the ballroom, there are several haunted knights, moving knights. They are haunted. That is not something that you have to investigate. You will understand that they are haunted knights.
So the knights probably take care of.
Yes. So there's these haunted knights, and they are, right now, they're not moving. But you do remember when you were in the dining room, you remembered that they were the ones that were coming in and serving you. You didn't really notice at the time because you were busy having a lovely dinner and you were conversing. But now you kind of notice, there's these haunted knights that are acting as the waitstaff for this particular establishment. And on one of the knights, one of the knights is a little taller than all the other ones. You would think they would be the head of the kitchen if everything was in operation at this moment. No one's moving. None of the haunted knights are moving because the dinner was interrupted. They don't have anything to do. But the tallest knight has a little bit of an insignia. It is not a rose, unfortunately. It is actually the purple night flower that Milton saw in the green room. So it's got a little bit of color on it. It's on the shoulder of this knight. So it's more of just an identification. It's not necessarily like it's telling you anything. But you do notice this. Unusually perceptive for Ben. You notice all the details about these haunted knights and this kitchen. And of course you are very much sensing these blood roses, and you're gonna go over and you are gonna snag one.
Hell yeah, I am. Fuck yes. So now Ben's walking around with a blood rose in his hand, like munching on it while he walks around, like,
Yep.
Oh, I see. Okay. Hey, Georgie.
Would you like to talk to... Okay,
Georgie.
Sorry, continue.
You see this knight with the purple shit? You think that means anything?
Well, we did see, some purple night flowers in the greenhouse.
Cool. I'm gonna open it. I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm guessing that since this is the only night with some cool shit on it, that's where the device is. So I'm gonna stick my hand in the night and get it out.
No, I wouldn't recommend.
I know. I wouldn't recommend you doing it, or the lovely Miss Scarlet. Milton might even singe a wing. God forbid.
No,
I will take
right.
one for the team. I'll take the L for the team.
You realize I've been in active combat, correct, right?
You keep telling yourself that, Mothman. All right.
I know. I would like to say that this is a very bad idea.
That's my middle name. Actually, it's Benjamin. But
please just be careful.
That's okay.
I'm gonna have you roll against. I'm gonna have you roll against your own wisdom.
Oh my god,
it's low.
Not great.
And I want you to roll a d20. And if you get higher than 9, you can stick your hand in this knight.
Oh boy.
Ben, for once in your life, please. That's a 16, my dude.
Yeah!
Okay. So
So Ben looks at Miss Scarlet and says, "My dear, would you like the rest of this blood rose as I valiantly take one for the team?"
Of course, my dear.
Alright, he's going for it. What you doing?
Okay, so he sticks his hand, just lifts up the visor real quick, sticks his hand in, and as soon as he does this, the whole knight falls apart. And now you just have a pile of armor. And there was a wisp of smoke a little bit, and it's gone. That wisp of smoke is no longer there. So, and because of this, the rest of the waitstaff has come alive a little bit, and they're like looking at each other. They're like they've got this. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen inanimate objects that have no facial features still have an expression on their face, but they've got this expression like, what do we do? What do we do? And so they all leave the kitchen and they go back into the dining room.
Okay.
So now you have successfully taken all of the waitstaff out of the dining room, and now there is a pile of armor on the floor in the kitchen.
Nailed it!
Boy.
We're safe now. We're safe now, and I take the helmet and I put it on my own head.
I feel
Oh
so
my god.
much
Okay.
safer.
All right, so now we're back to
Ben.
Georgie.
Ben, isn't that quite heavy?
Nah, man, I have the strength of 10 normal people. Probably
10.
12 of you.
I'm not very small. I feel like you keep talking to me like I'm very tiny, and I'm not like.
As if
I
she's
am...
someone from a different campaign.
You know all about campaigns, wouldn't you, Mr. War Veteran?
Yes!
Yes, actually, you got something right. Good job, Ben.
Half tempted to, like, pull out medals and shit that I got from the war. TM, do I have any on me?
Do you?
I'm gonna roll for myself.
Did you come into this dinner party in your full, like,
Swagged out?
I mean,
regalia?
I feel like that's what a veteran would do if they were a highly decorated veteran. And I rolled pretty high, so yeah, they've got, like, some of their
Absolutely.
medals
I
on
appreciate
them.
that Daniel is like, yes, that definitely does happen. That's real.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so is anybody else going to talk to Miss Scarlet, or would you like to move?
Well, I think I'm gonna, like, take my friends aside. My friend and Ben.
Friend and person we're
Friend
tangentially
and
associated
also
with.
Ben.
And I'm gonna be like, I think that both Miss Scarlet and Professor Plum have a lot to lose should this device go off.
Hell yeah,
Now,
you both
I
do.
do not know about the rest of our compatriots when it comes to this party, but perhaps we should ascertain the information of whether or not it is as bad for them as it would be for us. Because if it is not entirely unbeneficial, maybe they are the wizard.
Yeah, this would be pretty terrible for y'all if it went down, so...
Why do you keep talking like it won't affect you?
I'm mostly... I'm not like a real monster like you people, so it probably won't affect me.
Did he just say you people?
In the nicest possible way, chick, okay? In the nicest
Did he
possible
just say
way.
you people?
How do we know that it's not you who said this? No, you're too much of an idiot.
Look, my intelligence score is a whole 13, okay?
So, everybody is in the kitchen, and I think y'all have done the most you can do in this kitchen, except for cook. So I think what might be best is if we move to another room. Who was the last person that did something?
I think it
It's
was
my turn, and then my
Okay.
internet cut out.
right.
Okay, so Georgie, what room would you like to go to?
I did see that book in the library, and I think that maybe we should go find that book. Also, I think that maybe Ben should apologize to Colonel Mustard. You were kind of rude.
Hey, first of all, you should apologize to me, just because, like, I was in the library, and I looked at the books, and we've been through this, so I don't think there's anything else in the library because, like, I looked, okay?
I haven't taken a check-in to peruse.
That's true, and there was a book about roses, and I think it might be important. And
I looked at the book
And I
on
should
roses.
return
I
this
touched
book
it.
that I found in the lounge. I think I should return it.
Yeah.
Winky.
Easy
so-
McPeeperson over here.
winky antenna everywhere.
Alright, so Georgie,
It's-
can you roll, I think, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, so if you're going to roll to get to the library, roll a d10.
A D10.
I'm going to have every one of you roll a d10.
Wait.
Okay.
hold on.
So we're going to have a little bit of a walking adventure.
That's a 12.
walking adventure.
Is the D10? That's the one that has. Never
Two
mind.
sides.
This is a stupid question. I got it. It's fine. I got an 8.
So did I.
Alright, so y'all are right outside the ballroom. You are not right next to the ballroom entrance, but you are in the hallway. So why don't y'all tell me, just give me maybe a 6-second reason why you stopped.
Fucking Ben forgot to tie his shoe.
Alright, perfect.
No,
I love it.
Listen. Not only did he forget to tie his shoe, but, like, he snagged another blood rose for the road and dropped it.
You're making a mess. You're
Dirty
making...
blood
Aw,
rose.
thing.
You were graciously invited here, and you're dripping blood throughout
Hey,
all of the
Me and
hall.
Gloria
If
are
this was a
are
regular
BFFs,
household,
and she knows how I am, okay?
someone might think a murder happened here.
A murder did happen here. I'm, like, murdering y'all on the daily with my sick jokes. Hey.
Please do continue to wile us with your impressive feats of intelligence.
Don't mind if I do, my dude.
I was being facetious.
Well, I am being facetious.
All right, continuing on. Yes. all
Roll
right,
a
yes.
d10, please.
All right.
All of us, yeah.
I don't want you guys in the hallways forever.
No, we're just gonna stay here until somebody comes out after us.
That's an 8.
Alright, now why have you stopped? Someone else.
I think Ben. I feel like Ben would like peek his head into see Dr. Green again to see like, what is this
How you
motherfucker
doing?
doing? What you
What's
doing?
up?
What you doing?
Hey, like one quick sec. Okay. Hey, you find the thing? Find the thing yet?
I have not, young lad.
Great. We're cool. Keep going.
Right.
Alright, so, Ben, all you have to do is roll a 7 or up on a d10.
Come on, Ben, please.
Where are we going?
That's a critical failure for Benjamin.
Alright, so y'all have, you all start to move, and, Dr. Green peeks his head around the corner, and is like, oh, lad, did you happen to find the device?
We're so close, man. Like, so close. Don't worry about it.
We are currently on our way
Didn't
of
ask
looking
you, Milton.
for
Didn't
it.
ask you. Okay. I'm leading this party. Let me lead.
Alright, Georgie, roll me a d10.
D10.
Yes, please.
Oh, that's a 2. Okay.
You
yeah,
guys
not
can't
that bad.
get into the library. Alright, Georgie, this time
Someone's
it's your
tripping.
fault. Why did we stop?
I dropped my book on my foot and it did hurt quite a lot. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Are you all right?
No, I'm okay. I've been stomped on by larger feet before.
Alright, Milton, roll me a D10. You only have to do 5.
That's
So-
an 8.
Alright, y'all are in the library now.
Hooray!
Alright, so because Milton was the last one to roll,
Yeah.
Milton, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna salutations to my Colonel Mustard. Yes.
Hello,
as a fellow,
hello.
as a fellow military man.
The colonel like salutes you.
myself,
Is
yes.
like, how's it going?
It is well. It is well, Colonel. Have you found any clues?
Quick question though, Milton. What was your rank when you retired?
I'm gonna roll.
All right.
So that is a 7.
Oh god damn.
What?
Brigadier General Mothman, if you please.
So
Shit!
that's above. I believe that's above colonel, right?
Yeah, just one step above
Okay.
Colonel.
Okay, so there's definitely a salute of respect from the colonel.
As you were.
All right, so what are you going to talk to the colonel? Are you going to look in the library some more?
Colonel, I would like a status report of everything that you've seen so far.
The library is full of books, and I think one of them is suspicious. I'm convinced that there's some books here that just, to me, why would Gloria have a book about, the Knights of Tomorrow? That's a bit of fiction there, and I know she's not quite into fiction. She's very much a facts and theory. I know she's very much into theory. So, that one of the reasons why Professor Plum is such a good friend of all of ours is all of the theory discussions of the monster sociology. We are very, very much into that. So I'm very much convinced that one of these books is suspicious, but I haven't quite looked at them. I keep getting distracted by these other books.
Yes. Well, as your superior officer, please take a look closer with me as I also investigate. We can put our military minds together.
Of course.
Yes, alright. So, that's a good D20. That's a 19 on investigation.
Okay, so everything that I said earlier to both Georgie and to Ben are accurate. The two books that were worn, I believe Ben slid out Signs of the Rose.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is I want you to, so you go over and you see Signs of the Rose and Knights of Tomorrow, and they're about an arm's width apart.
Yep.
So Knights of Tomorrow is on your left and Signs of the Rose is on your right. So I want you to roll a d20, and I actually want either Ben or Georgie to also roll a d20.
Okay.
Georgie, you want to do it since my rolls suck?
Oh!
Yeah. I'm not even gonna roll. It's a nat 20, isn't it?
No,
Yeah, it is!
Yeah.
I know, I also, Georgie, I also need you to roll a d20.
17!
What
Y'all are killing it.
Yes!
Alright, so...
Ben rolled a crit
Investigate
fail,
that,
so I'm glad we
motherfucker.
went with you.
Alright, so Milton, you go over to Knights of Tomorrow and you look at it, and you're like,
Yes.
it's worn, but
Yeah.
it's not worn in the way that a book should be worn.
It's worn in a way a lever.
It's
perhaps.
got a bit of a lever look to it. The top is a little more worn than everything else. So instead of sliding it out, you put your hand at the top of the spine and you pull it towards you, and you hear a click, and you are like, all right. So you're gonna call over to Georgie, and you're like, Georgie, I need you to go over and look at Signs of the Rose. So you go to Signs of the Rose. And so, Georgie, you go over to Signs of the Rose, and you mimic exactly the same thing that Milton just did. You pull it towards you from the top, and you hear another click. And suddenly, the bookshelf shakes a little bit, and we've got a rotating bookshelf. And now you can see right down a deep, dark hallway. You're going to start going down this tunnel. It's very dark. Luckily, Milton has very good eyes in the dark. And also, Georgie, you've got a third eye, so you've got a little bit more to pull into yourself. And one of you, and Ben, of course, you're coming with, like, hey, don't leave me behind. And so you go down this tunnel, and one of you puts your hand on the wall and immediately takes it away because it's tacky, it's slimy, it doesn't quite seem like tree sap or anything like that. It's just old, musty tunnel. So you're gonna you go down this tunnel. There's dirt on the floor for some reason.
Is it the dirt that's...
It is the dirt. It's not paved. For some reason, this tunnel seems like an afterthought. Like, they wanted a secret tunnel, but they didn't build a secret tunnel when they built the house, so they just kind of made it work. So you go down this long corridor. You're just walking. You're hearing a soft, crackling sound that gets louder and louder and louder. And suddenly, you find a glowing globe with swirling mist inside. And this is, of course, the device.
Hey guys, I think this is the thing.
Astute and astounding as always, my dear Vladimir.
Oh, like you figured that out, and also fuck you.
None of you are are sufficient in spell casting. You are all high society monsters. Milton, you're a war veteran. Georgie, you're a student. You're not even studying necessarily magic, but if you are, you haven't gotten there yet. And Ben, you're a banker, so you don't necessarily really care about magic. You just want the currency. You just want that sweet, sweet gold. So all of you have found the device, but now what do you do?
All right. I'm going to investigate this area and see if there's any clues and or fingerprints.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't have to roll for anything. It's
cool.
just it's a dark tunnel with a glowing orb, and now what do you do? There's nothing in, like the only thing in this tunnel. Only thing in this tunnel is this glowing orb. If you were to keep going, the tunnel ends. The tunnel doesn't go anywhere.
My other question is the person
Yes.
who put their hand on the wall. Even after they like wipe their hand off, is there any residue left on their hand?
Possibly. That's quite possible. You're not able to go CSI on this because I believe in the monster universe you either have real human CSIs, but it's the 70s, so technology isn't quite there, or you have wizards who are able to kind of investigate the monster community. But again, none of you are wizards. You are trying to find this potentially this awful wizard who wants to destroy your monster society. So
I think
you have to do something now.
I believe we should go investigate further, and perhaps interrogate the few people we have not talked to at all yet, and perhaps look at everyone's hands and shoes to see whether or not they've got dirt, figuratively and metaphorically, on them.
I do think that's a great idea, actually.
I'm gonna go all Sherlock Holmes on your ass.
Alright, so you have successfully found this glowing orb. Now, this terrible spellcasting device, are you gonna take it with you, or are you gonna leave it in the tunnel?
I'm gonna take it with us.
It's not gonna turn off either way. However,
I think
Ben,
we should take it with us, only because it takes a nat 20 to get one of these people out of the room, whoever this wizard is. I'm not about to try to continually roll nat 20s between the three of us who are very bad at rolling, 80% of the time.
Only a third of us is bad at rolling. And again, since I'm not really a monster, I'm gonna take one for the team, and I'm gonna take this, and he takes it and sticks it under his coat,
that's not,
and so it looks really
just
stupid.
because you're half vampire does not mean that. Never mind. Never mind. I'm not even going to try anymore.
Yeah,
Alright, so we walk back out of the tunnel. What is Colonel Mustard's state now that the door has opened?
Colonel Mustard is now flustered, but he didn't want to follow because you didn't give him any orders to follow.
It's true.
He's very much about these orders of following. So he's standing there trying to be at attention a little bit, but peering around this bookcase, and it's and then when you guys come back out, he's like, I knew those books were suspicious.
Correct,
you
sir. We found the device. Now we must investigate everyone else. We have crossed off a few possibilities, but we still have to talk to a few more. If at all you were to come help us and investigate perhaps one of the other rooms as we are taking care of one of the others, would you be amicable to doing that, sir?
Roll a d20.
Okay, but I have seniority on him. Can I get a little bit of an advantage?
Roll a d3.
I only have a d4 on this list.
Right.
I have d4, d6, d8, d10, d100.
Roll a d4 then. And, yeah.
What does a
That's a
D3 look
two.
like anyway?
Okay, so you can get a plus 2.
It can't exist in real life.
You can get a +2 to your roll. So if
Okay.
you get 18 to 20, you can take Colonel Mustard with you.
Alright. Roll. Oh, it's 10.
Sir, I would absolutely love to come with you, but now I'm suspicious of all of these books, and they all have to be investigated very carefully.
Right. Remind me who your senior officer is again.
Well, yeah, you were error, I believe. I was, well, I wasn't fighting in the Monster Wars.
Yes.
You have to realize I was only reanimated in 1938, but before that, I did fight in some pretty underground wars. But my superior officer is dead.
He's a hipster veteran.
Yeah.
It was really underground. You probably haven't heard of it.
Colonel Mustard is a mummy. All right, give him a break.
Alright, well, as you were, Colonel, I believe if you just stayed here and take care of these books, that will be just fine.
Done. Yes, sir.
As you were.
Because we've been investigating for a while, I will not have you guys roll to necessarily go into, like, walk around and go into each room. Whoever's turn it is can roll a d4, and you can decide between the 4. So, Milton, you just went. So, I believe that puts us at Ben.
Oh god. Ben's gonna make us go see Dr. Frankenstein Green again, isn't he?
D4, right?
Yes, please.
That's a 4! Hey!
Alright, so we're gonna start, and we're gonna go clockwise, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Colonel Mustard.
Oh, good. Good stuff. Guys, I think the most important thing is to focus on, I think we need to just go back to the basics and interrogate everybody step by step, and we should start with this guy. Right here.
Are you gonna try to intimidate Colonel Mustard with the device?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Now I'll have you roll a d8, and you've got two numbers that'll get you into intimidate. Poor Colonel Mustard is a 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm. It's a 7. Ha ha!
All right. So please intimidate Colonel Mustard.
So
You just gonna, like, hold the orb up and be like, ha! Ha! Ha!
So he walks over to Colonel Mustard. He's like, "Look, man, I know your superior officer over there doesn't think this is important, but I have a glowing orb that makes me superior to all of you. So I demand that you tell us what's going on right now."
So as Ben pushes this orb like right up into Colonel Mustard's wrappings, Colonel Mustard starts to like stutter a little bit. Like, what are you doing? Get that magic away from me! There's only one time that magic is useful, and that's to reanimate. Oh, keep that away. Oh, find out who did this.
Exactly. Find out who did this, son. Who did this? This thing here. This is your thing. This is your thing.
I need you to ask. I need you to ask a question that would convince the group that Colonel Mustard is right.
So Ben is good cop bad copping with himself. So he like gets all up in his grill and is like, "Tell us what we want to know. This thing is bad. It's gonna be bad to you." And then he puts it back under his jacket and is like, "I mean, come on, man. I'm just, like we're not like these guys, like monsters, right? And I mean, this thing, is it really that dangerous? Is it really gonna make these guys go all savage? Like, what do you think of all that shit?"
So the Colonel is a little more relieved when you put the orb behind your back so that he can't see it anymore. And he's like, well, if you ask me, I don't like the idea of anybody going savage. Of course, it's awful. Yeah. It's not great at all.
Real,
but
man, yeah.
I mean, there's only so much that I could do if I lost control of myself. Is just I'm undead. There's only so much that's gonna happen, and then my arm is gonna fall off.
You look like
so
the aftermath of Toddler's birthday party for sure.
it's not great. I really think that everybody should just kind of like keep to themselves. But I think this whole thing is just making everybody get into everybody else's business.
I agree. Monsters should stay to themselves, and humans should stay to themselves. Like, right, for real. I agree.
Does he not? And I turned to Milton like, does he not understand? Do you think he gets it? I don't think he gets it.
Come on,
don't.
Colonel. I mean, like, I know. You know, Fuzzy over there outranks you, but like, you're an ex-human. I'm a half-human. Like, we're not on the same level as these guys, right?
I don't know if you could put monsters at levels.
I really do want to punch him in the face. I really do.
So I believe Ben has sufficiently interrogated the Colonel. The Colonel's really not going to say anything other than just, you know,
mind your business.
The Colonel believes that monsters should keep to themselves, but not necessarily that monsters are better than half monsters or humans.
Yeah.
Just everybody should keep to themselves and the world would be a better place.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know if that necessarily sways y'all in any direction, but that would be the continued answer that the Colonel is going to give.
So
I think it's just a note, and we'll investigate the rest of the people and see where we stand.
So
Okay.
you know, Ben does like commiserates with the Colonel, and the Colonel's still like, I mean, yeah, sure, man. Like, we keep to ourselves. Ben's like, I got this. I'll talk to them for you. And he turns around. He's like, well, I don't think he's our guy. Let's head on out. Let's go. And then like
is he
notices
within
that
earshot during that whole thing? Just like literally turns around. I don't think he's the guy.
and
Hey guys.
And he notices like Georgie and Milton are looking at him like, you're a fucking asshole. He's like, that's a interrogation technique, you guys. Like, you know, I was not serious, right?
Okay.
Like, that was totally fake for the fiction of the. I still have the orb. Like, this is. You know that, right? Like.
All right, let's go to the next room.
But guys, you don't hate me, right? Guys, wait.
Georgie, roll a d4. If you roll 4, you roll again.
Oh, well, 2.
Alright, so.
It was a 4.
1, 2. So now you're at Mr. White. Mr. White is
okay.
a zombie.
Zombie, okay.
Zombie.
Yeah, so, Georgie, what do you want to roll for?
Oh, we haven't been in this room before, have we?
No, but you found the
Oh, wait,
device.
no, yeah.
So you don't need to investigate the room, I promise.
Okay.
There's not a second hidden one, I promise.
You do an investigation check, and Ben pulls it out from under his jacket.
Yeah.
Found it.
I found
Nailed
it.
I guess charisma. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna have you roll a d20.
Do it to him.
15.
Alright, that is definitely gonna pass.
Woo!
So, what do you say to Mr. White?
Hello, Mr. White.
Ugh.
I just, I had a question for you, if that's alright.
Ah.
I'm not gonna get over this zombie voice that's gonna keep happening. It's gonna be so good.
God.
It's not gonna stop.
Oh god. Oh god.
Milton, what do you... do you speak zombie, Milton?
Why don't you ever ask me? Like,
Ben,
I found
do
the
you
orb.
speak zombie?
I found the orb. Look.
Ben, do you speak zombie?
No.
Case in point.
Is Mr. White known for only speaking zombie? Like, they were at the dinner party. Did
So for some flavor text for this specifically, Mr. White is a 5-star chef that helped prepare the meal tonight. So Mr. White was not necessarily in the actually sat down and ate with y'all, but you didn't really have a conversation because Mr. White was very much engrossed in getting the food out there, making sure everyone had their favorite dish, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
So in terms of the dinner party, that would be the, and I'm a little like disappointed that Mr. White didn't end up in the kitchen because that would have been like real nice. But I played the cards as they were.
Yeah.
So just as some flavor to necessarily give you an idea.
Mr. White, have you seen Miss Von Stein tonight? No. Okay.
All right. So when you ask that question, because you rolled a 15. You look down at Mr. White's hands, because you're thinking of a question, and you just look down. And you see on Mr. White's right hand, you see a bracelet with an amulet on it. And this amulet, from your studies, Georgie, since you are a student, you notice that it is, it looks like a spell amulet. So I will have you. Anybody else can roll for perception on what that spell amulet might be.
Okay, I will roll on that.
Okay.
That's an 11.
Okay. It's a spell amulet, and you think that it might have more than just like a protection, like a lot of people wear protection charms or love charms or anything like that. You think it might be a little more than that.
Okay.
But you don't know what it is.
I'm just like sort of leaning into Georgie and be like, do you see it? Do you see that? Like doing the eye thing, like putting my eyes, hands up to my eyes, but down to there, up to mine, up down, up down, up down, up down, and just being like, kind of like,
yeah.
Do you see that?
and like Ben notices you doing this and completely misses it, and goes like, "Sick shoes, bro."
Is there any dirt on those shoes?
You already rolled a perception.
Yeah.
Lou. So if someone else wants to roll,
Well,
perception
Ben
on
apparently
the shoes.
noticed the shoes, so
Yes.
It's true.
So Ben, how much do you notice about these shoes? Please roll me a d20.
Oh man, I was good. I was making it good, but now I'm gonna have to really do it. 14.
For shoops and shit. For shoop.
Okay. So the shoes aren't clean, but you're not quite sure if the dirt, like the dirtiness of these shoes, is because it's dirt or if because the chef was in the kitchen and running around and food and all that stuff.
But hey, the kitchen's clean and your shoes are dirty.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
Does anybody know what that could mean?
Georgie.
Not you, Georgie.
What?
Bring it home for us. Conclusions. I have the orb. I already did all the work. Like, please do the rest of it.
I'm trying to figure out why in the world Mr. White would even. I just don't understand. Like,
I don't understand either.
If you were a wizard, why would you turn yourself into a zombie? No offense, Mr. White. I don't understand.
Mr. White, can you remember all of your whereabouts for the last hour or so before and after our meal?
Are you rolling charisma or intimidation?
Which one do I have a higher score in?
They're both under charisma.
Okay.
If I ever do this game again, I'm gonna make some more changes, but they're both under charisma.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of preference at this point. And you do have the ability to do both of them.
Okay.
Am I allowed to roll to see if I know what the bracelet is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Roll me a d20, but your wisdom is 20. So what I'm going to do is, if you get 10 under, you failed. If you get 11 over, you succeeded.
17!
Okay, so you do see this bracelet, you do see this amulet, you did notice it, and then you're looking a little closer, and you realize that it's actually a banishment spell, and it's usually used on spirits. So Mr. White is wearing a bracelet that has a banishment spell, and if you put two and two together, this bracelet has banished Gloria from her own house.
Oh, shit.
So,
oh shit!
I don't know if that makes you wanna try to roll for something. So go ahead. Let's have. I'm gonna have all three of you. So all three of you make a decision. And we can do. Let's have you make a unanimous decision. Are you rolling for intimidation or persuasion? Based off of character traits. I know it might be different, but we're gonna go two out of three, whichever everybody votes for. It'll be now. Again. Let me reiterate: you have to roll 15 higher for intimidation and 18 higher for persuasion, because persuasion is more of a nice way of being like, "Can you please turn this off?"
Milton pulls in the two of them, like the huddling, and is like, I think we should get that amulet away from this place, at the very least. It's suspicious as the dickens.
As hell.
And I believe if our zombie ex-friend is the person who is a wizard, We need to do something about this. But at the very least, it is exceedingly suspicious that they've got something that would get rid of Miss Gloria herself.
Thank you,
I think,
Brigadier
yes.
General Obvious. So what are y'all gonna do about it? Because like I said, I have the orb, so I've done my bit for the night.
Well, there's 3 of us and 1 of them, and they're a zombie, so they don't really
Okay,
move that
no,
fast.
but if that is the wizard, then technically would they not be more powerful than the 3 of us?
Not necessarily.
No one's
If
more
they need
powerful.
I mean,
than
advice.
a-
Maybe not more powerful than Milton because he was in the military.
Who the
But I
excuse
am-
you, I'm big. How about, and this is just me throwing stuff out there, what if I slam dunk this shit onto his face?
Okay,
Like
that
would
seems
that would
like
make
a
that would
not
make
so
that would
great
make them
idea.
touch. That would
Um,
make them touch. So then, like maybe
don't-
the bodily
All right.
contact would.
So while you guys are talking, and when Ben says this, when Ben says slam dunk on his face,
Dunk it on him.
Dunk on him. Mr. White, you start to see shoulders go back on the zombie a little bit. You're like, wait a minute, and then you hear a voice, not a zombie, coming from the zombie, and then you look over at the zombie. This zombie is slowly turning into an average Joe, and this average Joe says, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." So you successfully
Told you.
figured out the wizard. However, the wizard then continues and says, "If you break my spell, it will go off. The only way for me to successfully have completed my mission is for some dumbass to break it, or for me to just let the timer run out."
Why do you want to do this? Why is this your grand scheme?
I have an answer. I believe that monsters are a danger to society. We never know when anybody might just snap. So I might as well just show everyone
Excuse
what happens
me,
when
sir.
a monster snaps.
Excuse me, sir.
See, you're snapping right now. I just need to show the world.
I
And
have
this is my
saved
test.
more lives than you can count.
Well, good for you. I
I-
don't believe that this is.
I
have this
is a
award
way
right
to
here.
live. We shouldn't be living in society with monsters.
don't
Why?
really know what you think that I, as a Triclops, can actually do to, like, hurt people.
That isn't even the point. People are civilized. We are able to. Anyone is able to pull themselves up from the ground. It does not matter what you are. It does
What
not matter
happens
where
when
you
this
are
goes
from.
off? What happens when this goes off?
Well,
Then
I
it is something that you have created. It is a
was about to say.
fiction of your own doing. It is no more than if you pointed a spell at someone and told them to tap dance. They're not a tap dancer. They're not a ballerina. They are just under a spell, and it is you who appointed the wand.
Do you know how many ballerinas are under a spell?
At least 3.
Hey, Batman's right. This some fake shit, okay? If I smush this right now, nothing would happen. You know why? Because we, as people, are beyond your shitty control, okay? And by doing this, you're not proving anything. You're proving that you are no better than any other monster. So I don't
except
really
for
know.
except for the
where
fact.
you- I don't know.
except for
No, you know what? I think this whole thing is a ruse, and I'm just gonna. What if I just slam dunk this thing onto the floor? What about that?
Ben! No,
Well,
don't! Oh my god. Oh.
That's
Here's
not
the
the
thing.
point.
No one's going to know that it was a spell. That's the beauty of this spell.
But I'm not like them, so I'll know and I'll tell people.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Why don't you give it a try?
You wanna
See,
go? You wanna go?
The thing is,
Oh my god.
with your plan, would it be any different if a human were to poison the water supply of a town and that town would get rabies? They'd all go mad and frothing at the mouth. But it does not mean that people or humans are inherently bad. It means that they were altered mentally and physically by someone's doing. In that case, that would be you. And I'm gonna roll my intimidate here because
Okay.
I'm like big Mothman arms.
Do it,
Yeah,
Mothman.
yeah.
Do it.
Fucking 19! 19!
Yay!
Yeah,
All right, so Mothman, so Milton like goes right up into this wizard's face, who by
My
the way
antennas.
is named Nick. Just straight up, just a regular old Joe, and that's not. I did it not on
A
purpose.
Joe
I promise,
named Nick.
Daniel.
That's okay. Okay, Nick Joe.
A Joe named Nick.
Nick
It's a
Jonas?
It's Whistling Nick. It's
Whistling Nick Jonas.
Oh.
Whistling Nick
the evil
Jonas.
wizard.
So Mothman goes right up into Nick's face.
Yes.
And because the orb is so far right up in Nick's eyeballs, it's more dangerous as a glass shard than it is necessarily. I mean, it is a dangerous spell, but not to Nick, obviously.
Yeah.
But because it's right up there and there's a lot of tension in Milton's shoulders, there's a moment, there's a hot second, lot of tension. Then Nick grabs the orb and holds it, whispers a little spell into it, and the orb powers down. And then 1 second later, the orb powers back up again. And Nick goes, I didn't do that. You cannot do this to me. I didn't do this.
Oh shit!
And so I need all of you to roll a d20 saving throw against this. Okay, I have rolled a number that I know,
Okay.
and that is what you have to roll against.
Oh boy.
17!
I got a 10.
Milton, before everything goes to shit, I just want to let you know, you didn't have to snatch the orb from me. I would have done that for you. That's a 10 for Benny.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
so
God.
10 bucks.
Am I the only
So,
one that
all of-
lives? Yes!
no, all of you live. So what happens is the orb powers back up again, and then it starts to shake, it starts to rattle, and then it starts to act. It acts as though there is no glass around this orb. It's just the light in an orb ball, and it expands, and all of you start backing up. You're in this hole, so you've got plenty of space to go.
Yeah.
And the glowing light sphere expands, envelops Nick, and then collapses in on itself and disappears. And all of you have solved my riddle. Congratulations, you all win. You all live. Good job, team.
Good
job.
day, sir. Good day.
So are we getting dessert now or what?
Did we just have to roll over a 1?
No, I rolled a 7.
Okay.
I was so sure that like
What would you do if you had rolled like a 20?
Well,
That would have been the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I did write it like, if you don't live, you turn into a savage, and then what does that mean? Thank you everyone for listening to Clue D&D. I hope you enjoyed it. And happy spooktacular Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
No Dice is part of the Pocket Podcast Network, delivering quality content right to your pocket.